The rest of the story. Author Ewan Montague once called it the most brilliant ruse of World War II. It may have been. The deception involved Major William Martin of the British Royal Marines. Martin played a key role in the success of the Allied invasion of Sicily by passing documents to the Germans. False documents indicating that the invasion would be elsewhere. As a result, the Axis forces were too widely scattered for an effective defense. Hitler himself was so convinced that these documents were authentic that he sent Marshal Rommel to Greece, where he believed the real Allied invasion would take place, and he was wrong. Hitler was tricked. But that's not the rest of the story. If any one person could be given credit for the successful Allied invasion of Sicily during World War II, it would have to be Major William Martin of the British Royal Marines. For several weeks during the spring of 43, Major Martin was the key figure in a grand deception, a scheme that convinced the Germans that the Allies would not attack Sicily. What Major Martin did was to allow himself to be captured. Naturally, the Germans searched him, and what they found on his person were certain papers, phony, of course, but papers that led the Germans to believe they'd stumbled across the greatest intelligence leak of the war. None of the papers Martin carried actually mentioned the invasion site, or even that the invasion would not be in Sicily. That would have been too obvious. In fact, most of the papers that Major Martin delivered to the Germans were not related to the war. That was the really sneaky part. Martin was carrying theater ticket stubs, a picture of his girlfriend, a letter from his father, things like that. And listen to this. One of the documents in Martin's courier pouch made reference to rationed sardines. Aha! The Germans thought that must be the code, meaning that the Allies would invade Sardinia. An official German intelligence report stated the genuineness of the captured documents is above suspicion. The Germans, having originally suspected and prepared for an assault on Sicily, now diverted defense forces to Sardinia, to Greece. When the real invasion did begin, only 2 German divisions were left to defend Sicily. And for nearly 10 weeks thereafter, Hitler still couldn't believe it. The full-scale Allied attack would be at Greece, he insisted. Well, not only do you now know he was wrong, but now you know why. The magnificent deception of Major William Martin, on whom they found those planted and purposely misleading documents. Alas, Major Martin himself never knew what he had done, because he was dead before he did it. In fact, he died several days before the Germans had discovered him, washed ashore, supposedly drowned. You see, Major Martin was a fictitious name. Major Martin, in reality, was a civilian who died of pneumonia and whose body was volunteered for the mission on the condition that his true identity would never be revealed. So Major William Martin, the British officer, perhaps single-handedly responsible for the successful invasion of Sicily, was in fact a man who never was. Now you know the rest of the story.